So thinking about the campaign for more legislative powers for the Assembly, how do you feel the Yes campaign is coming on? What more do you think?
Well, the Yes campaign is virtually non-existent at the moment, which is worrying. I understand that we are looking at a launch early in the new year, and I just hope that we can pick up the pace in terms of what we're doing. My concern is at the moment, a lot of the opinion polls are showing that there is a majority for a yes vote. That's very soft. And I think that when it comes down to it, it's actually motivating people to go out to vote. And the way I look at the moment, the people who want to vote no are better motivated to go out and vote than the people who want to vote yes. So what we have to do is we have to get out there and persuade people that a yes vote is worthwhile and meaningful and is going to improve their lives. And we have a very short period to do that. And I think that all the parties want to look at how we can work together to do that over the next few weeks.
Do you think there'll be problems there with, for example, if the Conservatives do robustly campaign for the no votes, do you think there'll be issues there with you kind of working together and things?
Well, at the moment it seems that the Conservatives officially are in favour of the yes vote, and the vast majority of the Conservative Party, with the exception of a few enclaves in South East Wales, will be campaigning for a yes vote. So I don't think there's going to be a problem there. I think maybe the problem is that people are going to see all the politicians on one side and want to kick them in the teeth and say, actually, if you want it, we obviously don't.
Yeah. Some people have argued that if there were a no campaign, it may actually galvanise the yes campaign. Do you think there's any merits to that view?
Well, there needs to be a no campaign, because without a no campaign, you're not going to get a yes campaign in terms of funding. But clearly, you know, people are more likely to go and vote if you have the arguments for and against, and if they can see there's a proper debate, because then they're going to be able to engage with that. What we have to ensure is that our arguments for a yes are stronger than the arguments for a no, and we also need to debunk a lot of the myths which are being put about by the no campaign, and make people understand that we're not voting for independence, we're not voting for tax-bearing powers, we're not voting for an increase in the Assembly member's salary, and we're not voting for a whole host of other scary stories which the no campaign are putting about. All we're voting for is to make sure that the Assembly can pass laws without going through a £2 million a year process, which we're doing at the moment, of going on our knees to the MPs and asking for permission to do it.
Do you think there will come a point where Wales will be much more independent and you'll no longer have to have you blogged about it being good, for example, for there to be less MPs if Wales were to have increased powers? Can you see a sort of happy medium between?
Well, I mean, Scotland has lost MPs because they have full lawmaking powers. And I think once you have full lawmaking powers, you don't need that many MPs, because a lot of the things the MPs are doing will be done here in Wales. So clearly, I think, you know, and given the fact that Welsh constituencies are smaller than English constituencies, and therefore they have this imbalance between representation across the two nations, I think, you know, it is logical that we have less MPs in Wales, but we need to get those full lawmaking powers to make sure that we don't lose out. You know, I do think we have too many politicians. You know, we have too many councillors, we have 60 AMs, we have 40 MPs. Why do we need so many politicians? People don't support that many politicians. People want to see good government. They don't want to see politicians lining their pockets, and they don't want to see politicians creating a lifestyle for themselves by not having enough work to do. And I think that's quite an important message for people.
Do you think that's what's happening then?
I think it's happening to a certain extent. I wonder sometimes what MPs do. I mean, MPs obviously turn up to the House of Commons and they vote, but all they're voting on a lot of the time is English laws. They're not voting on Welsh laws, because a lot of that's happening here. And once you have a yes vote, there'll be even less for them to do, you know, in terms of relevance to their own constituencies. You know, if you still have 40 MPs after we have a yes vote and 60 AMs, the MPs will just be glorified caseworkers, and, you know, turning up for the old foreign affairs debate and defence debate and the budget. At the end of the day, why do we need that many MPs if the Welsh Assembly has proper powers?